message yesterday afternoon. I didn't get it till the evening when I saw him send around 4:30 in the afternoon from Smeez saying, "I just had a crazy personal experience. Topic A.
Yeah.
Definitely tomorrow." I'm like, wow. So I've been sitting on pins and needles on the edge of my seat all night long.
For my personal experience.
To find out what the hell you did yesterday. Your personal experience.
I know. I've
I don't
been
know
like,
if I phrased it that way.
Oh, no, I got it. Let me see. I'll pull it out.
See if you...
Oh, he
I
texted you too?
Sent you guys the same one.
See if he texted me. Let's see. Okay.
Let's see. Let me open my text.
All right, I'm
On
in.
my Levo here. Yeah, right. It says, I just had the mother of all personal stories happen to me. Topic A tomorrow, hands down.
Yeah, got that too.
Nope,
Yep.
no pressure. You have the floor.
Oh, man. All right. Are you guys sitting down?
Yeah. And I believe Frank is, quote, on pins and needles.
And I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. And I'm biting my nails.
Why are you winking? So
I have bated breath.
Me too.
So I have to start this story by explaining to you exactly where I live. I live in a house that's been sort of converted into a duplex. We get most of the house, me and my roommates, but there's a guy named Brian. We call him Brian the Ahole. And he lives in, basically, it's a studio apartment that's attached to our place. So we do share 2 walls and an attic.
Who was there first?
We were.
Okay.
So we call him Brian the A-hole.
Is he the guy who has the cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got 2 cats that run around, Vinny and Stella. And they're cute.
He's the guy that just leaves.
Because I know the cats' names?
No, he has 2 cats.
Right.
So
He's
a single
guilty.
guy with 2 cats, he's guilty. Wow. Someone's defensive.
He's the guy that like leaves his whole place open. That doesn't even close the doors, and his cats just come and go.
Yeah, pretty much. And we call him Brian the A-hole because he is obviously a tweaker, a pill popper, a meth head, something. He's always on something. And he will... I was going to get one of my roommates on the phone to tell you all the stories about Brian the A-hole, but a couple of the tippy-top stories are one night he was stoned out of his mind on something, and he wrapped himself in a towel and went out to the pool to have a cigarette and passed out with the cigarette in his mouth, and the towel had fallen open. So he is in public with his penis out.
Tweaking.
With a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
All right.
So how long did you stay there staring at it?
We were like, do we go? Like, we were checking his breathing.
Why didn't you go right on him? Pull out the Sharpies.
Oh, you said right. I was like, right on him? What the hell kind of...
Brian, the A-hole. That's how he got his name.
Exactly.
You arched it up in the air.
Ah. It all comes together.
So that's one of his classic stories, and he'll leave a DVD menu on full blast, and we share a wall, and we can hear the menu until 6, 7 a.m. because on whatever drug he's on, he'll just pass out and leave the DVD menu going full blast.
Or you just hear that intro song on a loop all night long. Yeah.
The entire night.
What is that, heroin?
I have no idea.
You shoot up and you just sit back.
But it's bad. So I come home after work, directly after work yesterday, about 3:30, and he's out in our parking area, and he's like, hey man, is that your friend? And his eyes are as big as saucers, and I was told later you could smell alcohol in his breath as well. So he was on multiple substances. He goes, is that your friend? I was like, is who my friend? None of my roommates are home. Your friend in the attic, the guy crawling around in the attic, is that your friend? I was like, Brian, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, all right, man, well, I'm going to get your friend in trouble because he's crawling around in my attic. You better get him down. I was like, Brian, if there's somebody in the attic, then it's not one of us. I don't know why we would, for recreation, crawl around in the attic just to mess with you.
Do you have an attic?
It
I mean, how
sound
crazy
fun
is
now,
it?
But now that he's brought it up, it does sound like something fun just to mess with the tweaker.
Well, we do have an attic, and we
Okay.
do share an attic because it used to be one house.
All right.
So he says, no. He crawls around in my attic, and then every time I hear him and start to investigate, he runs down my roof really fast and peeks his head down and then runs away.
Drugs are cool.
I was like, oh, Brian, I have no idea, man, but have a good time with that. So I go in my house, and my roommate calls, and he's like, hey, are you with Brian right now?
Because I'm stuck in the attic.
What are the chances?
So I said no, but he just said some weird things to me. And he said, yeah, he was really aggressive towards me. He came up to my car, banging on my window, and said, roll the effing window down. Roll the effing window down. Your effing friend is in my attic again. And my roommate was like, what friend are you talking about? He's like, I see you with him. I see you with him. He follows you around everywhere you go. I see you with him. He's like, well, what does he look like? Is this a person or is this a cat? Because that stray cat.
Is it a cat?
Well, we have that stray cat now that goes with us everywhere. The cat is in love
your
with
friend
us.
the cat.
Right. He's
like,
up in the attic right now
He
chasing
goes,
mice.
no, it's a person. It's a person. I see you with him. He pokes his head down and he looks at me and then he runs away into the woods. And my roommate's like, Brian, I don't know what to tell you. We don't have anybody in the attic.
You don't even have any woods. I mean, you live in like a...
He lives in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Where
in
are
Van
the woods of
You
Van
know,
Nuys?
So he swears up and down that this is a person. He's like, all right, man, well, I'm going to get your friend in trouble. I'm going to get your friend in trouble, so you need to get him out of the attic. So I'm on the phone with my roommate at the time, and we have a big room that's just glass walls. It's a big empty room with glass walls, and it faces our gate because our house and his house is separated by a wall and a gate that you have to go through to get around back to get to our place. And all of a sudden, in this gate, I see 4 heads pop out and guns pointed at me. They're like, put your hands on your head! Put your hands on your head, sir!
Shit.
And I'm on the phone trying to
And it looks like a gun, probably. You're like,
I'm trying
Yeah, I
to
should
talk
have
to
got
my
that gun
roommate.
phone for Christmas.
yeah.
Well, thank God I didn't, though, because I'm talking to my roommate. I'm like, look, I think it's the cops. I gotta go. And I drop the phone and I throw my hands in the air. They're like, not in the air. Put your effing hands on the effing back of your head.
Oh, my God.
So I put them on the back of my head. Then they come up to my door and they realize it's locked. And they're like, okay, take your hands off your head to unlock the door. So I unlock the door.
Sir, get out your keys from your pocket.
And as soon as you unlock the door, they're like, now put your hands back on your
Yeah,
head.
and they had guns 2 feet away from my head, and they literally said this phrase to me: "Don't effing move, or I'll blow your effing head off."
Wow, they don't mess around in Van Nuys.
They were not kidding around, and 4 cops got me and threw my hands behind my back, handcuffed me, and dragged me out of there.
So you were put on your belly on the ground? I mean,
No, they
knee
never.
in your back?
They
Nothing?
never threw me in the ground. They were pretty rough with me.
And you're
were
little
you-
and delicate, you know.
Were you stoned at the time?
No, I was like, what is going on? I live here. What? And they were like, good story.
Wait, yeah, I was inside. The door was locked. And how would I have got in? And if the door would have been locked if I was on the outside?
Well, so what had happened was Brian the Ahole, he didn't tell them it was a duplex, and it looks like one house.
Right.
So they thought I was just the world's worst thief, walking around talking on the phone. I had been crawling around in the attic, and then when I noticed Brian the A-hole left, I just was la 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 la. So they took me out handcuffed in front of all my neighbors. Everybody came out because it turned out to be.
We knew it. We thought he was a freak. Look how he dresses.
And I got this dirty mustache. Like I probably did look a little like a thief.
Were you playing it up like you were a mean badass and now you run the neighborhood?
I was like, hey, can you put a cigarette in my mouth and light that for me?
Yeah, they always do that. Like, hey, dude, can I have a little smoke before we go to jail?
I mean, you know you're innocent, so why not just totally be ridiculous and be like, no, man, I didn't do that. I didn't kill her.
Let all the neighbors
All
go,
your
what the
neighbors are
hell?
like,
Well, I still hadn't realized what had happened. I just had cops.
Did you pee your pants a little?
I was pretty much scared out of my mind for
Yeah.
just a couple of minutes.
You didn't put the two together that Brian had continued to tell you,
No.
I'm going to get him and your friend in trouble.
I
I'm
had
gonna get your friend.
no idea.
Did you think you were getting punked like we set it up?
No. I thought.
Did you think they
because-
were stripper cops? Put your hands on my head.
Well, you guys are really into this role-playing thing. We can skip this, though, and get down to the
Right.
to the badge on the balls thing.
Well, I have a little weed in the house that you gave me, and I was like, I'll give you the weed. I don't.
You said that?
No.
God. It's from Frank Kramer.
Yeah.
Here's his address.
You know Frank Harvey?
My dealer.
Channel. I know
Hey,
where
as
he
long as you
lives.
promote the show, Eric, it's
I
fine.
know where he
Yeah.
lives.
So they took me in handcuffs and threw me up against a wall, and they said, "Is anybody else in the house? Is anybody else in the house?" I said, "No, I'm home alone." And And then they all cupped their cheeks with their hands.
Right.
And made the Home Alone face.
Homo alone.
So they didn't believe that I lived there. They did not believe it
Now, here's
until
the
the
problem.
owner came out and
Do you
confirmed.
have a driver's license that has that address on it?
Yes.
Because I made the mistake of...
Well, that's pretty much proof right there.
Yeah.
One
Because-
guy sneaking in the attic has a driver's license with the address on it.
Yeah, that does solve the problem because I locked myself out of when I lived on Coldwater, I locked myself out of my own house. But the problem is I had just kind of moved in like 2 months. You know, when you first move in, you still have the old driver's license that had another address in Van Nuys. So I'm going, trying to break into my house and then having to explain, no, I live here. Ma'am, can we see some form of identification?
Explain it to who?
The cops who show up.
So someone called the cops on you trying to crawl through a window.
Yeah, but I had bars. I lived it wasn't the greatest place, but there were bars on the windows and the door. And I'm trying to, and my dogs are inside, everybody's inside. And I'm...
You don't have to add it's not the greatest place when you said you had bars in the windows.
Yeah.
We assume.
And so I'm trying to figure out a way in, and there was a condominium complex right next door, so people were looking through because I'm just trying to figure out any way to get in, climbing up to the top, and they show up, and I had my Van Nuys address, a driver's license, and try to explain, no, I live here, I locked myself out, I was barbecuing, I locked myself out, and I can't get back in, and it is my house, and that's where it's uncomfortable. So you're lucky that you had the driver's license that actually had that address on it.
Well, once they realized Brian the a-hole was tweaking on something, and that he was claiming that there was a person who runs around on his roof, even though we never hear him,
Yeah.
they realized he was crazy.
So they didn't go talk to him first.
Yeah, they talked to him, and he was laughing at me in cuffs. That's how out of his mind stoned he was.
And you're like, Brian.
Yeah. I was like, can you at least tell him I live here? And he was like, he lives here. And they still didn't uncuff me. I was in handcuffs, shivering because it was cold yesterday, and I was in my indoor attire, and they had me up against a wall, and I asked the officer, I said, can I at least lean against this wall? And he goes, my supervisor's here. Just go ahead and face the wall for
What's
me.
your indoor attire? A satin robe? I mean, you get home, put on slippers and a satin robe. Indoor
Shorty
attire.
shorts.
Yeah.
Smoking jacket and a pipe.
I don't walk inside and change immediately.
No, I took my jacket off, is what I mean.
Oh.
So I had my short sleeve
Girls
shirt
do. We
on.
put our comfy clothes on.
Yeah, I had my Dallas Cowboys sweatpants on and my
That said pink
my
on the
camisole. I had my hair
Camisole.
up in a bun.
Yeah,
Had a towel on my
Avocado
head.
mask
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Hey guys, what can I do for you? Hello, officer.
Wow, Eric.
So yeah, so for 20 minutes I was in handcuffs. All the neighbors came
In the
out.
back of the car? They just
No.
let you sit there while they
They
investigated?
just had me with my shoulders up against the wall, facing the wall.
And so what kind of questions did they ask you?
They were asking me if what I was doing there. And
I live here?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with
Question
that.
one done.
Right, yeah.
And so the owner had to come out, and he was furious. He was like, "What is going on? What is going on? Why is my tenant in handcuffs?" And so finally, they let me out of the handcuffs, and we tried to build a case to get Brian taken in for drug abuse, but they were like, "He's in his own house." They said, "We can tell he's tweaking
No,
on
but
something."
if he wouldn't it be some sort of false, I don't know, police report or something? Because I mean,
Well,
you
no,
can get
because
arrested
there's
for that.
something. He's complaining about something in the attic. It's probably just, an animal of some kind getting in.
yeah.
So, I mean,
And his brain is telling him it's
But they're saying that
he
you can
claims
do
he
drugs
sees
in
a
your own house.
person poking his head upside down from the roof, like,